Hey viewers, this is Fernando from SkyFi Audio. Today I'm going to share with you our latest LP12. That's a LINN LP12 turntable build. This one came out particularly nice, so I thought I'd take the time to make a quick video and go over some of the features and why the LINN LP12 is so popular, especially for tweakers and people looking to sort of improve their table over time. So the LP12 has been made for decades at this point. It's come on slight variations, but they're generally the same configuration or very similar. It hasn't changed radically. It's just sort of evolved, almost like a Porsche 911, a rear engine car, which has been in production for 50 years and it just keeps getting better and better with each iteration. So the nice thing about LINN is that you can kind of upgrade it little by little. And even if you've got the earliest models, they're all sort of compatible with the latest upgrades. And I'm going to share with you what we did today to make this LINN not only perform amazing, but also look beautiful. So the first and foremost, or the most notable thing is the plinth. The plinth was custom made for us by a craftsman in Europe. It is a light oak with dovetail joints in it with a hardwood. I believe this might be a rosewood inlays. Came out really, really nice. You know, using a hardwood is the way to go with a plinth, and this one in particular, I think looks stellar. We matched it up with our in-house cork mat. This is about a 3/16 of an inch cork mat, and embossed with our logo in it, which is a great performer and fairly reasonable. For the tone arm, we've gone with the LINN Ittok LV2. This is one of the better tone arms that LINN has made over the years. A great value and a very good performer. Very easy to set up, other than setting your anti-skate, which is done here, your tracking force, and the height, which is done by adjusting this screw here. There really isn't much more to deal with it. So it's a great tone arm. Over here I've got the LINN basic tone arm, just to give you sort of a contrasting view. This is the LINN basic LV10, a little bit more of entry level tone arm, mounted on a LINN arm board. Very similar in setup, but not nearly as sophisticated as the Ittok, which is what we tend to do more. You'll also notice that we've gone with an external power supply. Now the LINN LP12 generally has a power supply mounted inside of the plinth. It's a PC board power supply, which ages and sort of begins to act up over time. But this one, we removed the internals and then connected it to a Mose external power supply. This is a unit that's retails for around $600. It's very, very well made, aluminum case, great power supply with total transformer and super high-end connections in the back as well. I'll show you the quality of the connector that they've used here. It's almost military spec connectors. It takes a standard IEC power cord with a power switch in the back. So you essentially remove the Valhalla power supply that's internal to this. You change the switch to a switch that is able to accommodate both speeds with 2 LEDs and the external power supply. So it's a really, really substantial upgrade to what's already a good turntable. Now the LP12 is what we call a fully sprung or suspended table, where if you give it a nudge here on the arm board, you'll see that it'll bounce up and down along with the platter. So they're actually mated together internally. And if you sort of shake the table or walk around the room, it isolates the important bits from the bits that are vibrating. So as opposed to, let's say, Thorns. Here's the Thorns direct drive turntable, which is pretty much mated to the plinth. So fully sprung turntable. Now I thought I'd show you the functionality of this power supply and how it works. Oh, last thing before I jump into that, we've then mated it with a Still Points super high-end turntable platter weight. This is the LP1, fairly complex. It has these little sort of sub pieces in it. Very heavy, very good. The only thing is that you've got to tune this turntable to this weight. The LP12 is not expecting a weight of this heft, so the suspension on the turntable needs to be adjusted to accommodate it. So operation is pretty basic. You'll see here that I've got a power button here to turn it on. A single push will get the platter spinning at 33.3 RPM. It's not a terribly strong motor, so it will take 5, 6, 7 seconds to get up to speed. And then another push will turn it off. Now you'll notice there's a second LED there, so if I push and hold for a bit, it'll turn blue. And that is for the 45 RPM speed. As most of you audiophiles know, a lot of records are being reissued today at 45 RPM, able to put almost twice as much information on the, the record spinning at a much higher rate, so you can't fit as many songs onto a record, but it has a higher sampling rate or a higher encoding rate, which makes it a higher fidelity recording. So 45 RPM records are pretty popular right now. If you check Music Direct, you'll see a slew of them. And yes, there are the full-size records at 45 speed, not the 33s, 45s that we're used to, the little guys with the adapters. So that's why a lot of these turntables are now scrambling to adopt to 45 RPM. For a long time during the 90s, 2000s, 33 was the only way to go. So a lot of manufacturers omitted the ability to do 45 altogether for complexity reasons. And now, with 45s taking off, they're scrambling to put back the speed selector in. The Mose power supply has solved that for us on the LP12. Let's see what else. Let's talk about dust covers. We don't generally put dust covers on our turntables. They're really not meant to, or really have no place, or at least an attached dust cover. Hanging a piece of acrylic off the back of the turntable with hinges essentially just makes the turntable act like a sail, and it's going to pick up any vibrations that are in the air from the speakers and transfer them over the way to the cartridge, which is no good. So we typically don't hinge turntables that we make, but we will provide a cover so you can just drop it on top and keep it away from cats and kids and things that tend to damage them. For cartridge, we've chosen the Sumiko Blackbird. This is a fantastic cartridge. I believe it's soon to be replaced by the Songbird. But the Blackbird, very highly reviewed moving coil cartridge. It's our go-to moving coil cartridge. It's at a great price point. Tracks at about 2 grams. And it's a nude line contact stylus type. So highly performing, moving coil high output, so you can use it with most preamps without much ado. And give you a peek at it. So here it is, the Sumiko Blackbird. A bit of a delicate cartridge. As you can see, the stylus sticks almost completely from the front of it, and it does not come with the protector, so it's really for those that are super careful with their records. And a great fit for this LINN Ittok Arm. We've sold the combination a bunch of times and have great success. So here it is, the LINN LP12. You'll see this on our website, SkyFiaudio.com. SKU number on this particular model is 103098. This will be on for sale probably by next week. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to our channel if you appreciate the videos and if you'd like to see more of them. Take care.